Match 4 on the play. Yes, please. This hand is actually really good. We'll go ahead and keep. We'll lead Tree of Tails, Chromatic Star. Next turn, we can Frogmite Thoughtcast, right? I think so. Blue-red deck of some sort. We actually might not be able to... Actually, I think we can Thoughtcast, right? Yeah, of course we can. Dude, yeah, Perilous Research, Carapace Forger, winning. I feel in pretty good shape this game. It looks like we're against Delver Fiend. Or, you know what I'm saying. Or maybe it's the Is It Fairies deck. I don't really know. Another Thoughtcast. I think we'll lead on attacking for 2. And then we can play the Thoughtcast and the Carapace Forger. In fact, why don't I lead on the Thoughtcast, because I do want it to resolve less. Oh yeah, this is a very, very good Affinity draw. Next turn we'll be able to play 2 Mirror Enforcers for free. Like, it's just, it's good. We still don't really know what our opponent's on, though. We just know it's a red-blue deck. Flame Slash? Yep. Yeah. Certainly feels that way. And an ATOG for my troubles as well. Seems good. Let's lead off on attacking, though. So now I'm going to Enforcer, and leave up Perilous Research. Or no, now I want to play the ATOG, because now they've tapped out. All right, and our opponent scoops it up. Wow, wowee is indeed right. So, any concessions for Pyro or Hydroblast in this matchup? I think the Pyroblast is good, and the Hydroblast is probably not as good. Because we're playing I think we board out the 1 Research and 1 Wellsprings. I do think they're actually pretty good, but the Pyroblast is a little bit more interactive. And then I don't think we need the Electriceries.
Well, we don't even know that he's necessarily on the fairies yet. We didn't see
That's
any
true.
creatures. He's on Essence Scatter.
You know, it might be the blue-red pieces of the puzzle deck.
That's what I'm thinking. Is know for sure what it is.
Right. So I think bringing in the 2 Pyroblasts is then fine. Do we then also want the Hydroblasts? But I don't want to over sideboard. I think our game plan is actually pretty good.
Yeah, you slide underneath them before he can do anything.
Right. So I think we're actually pretty good here. I think the Pyroblast is good because we know that our opponent is running counter spells. And this hand is like not great actually. Yeah, we have to mulligan this. This hand is better. And we'll scry this to the top. So we'll lead on Citadel Drum. I think. Yeah. Next turn we can play out the Wellspring. Just building up that affinity count. Not opening up to Gorilla Shaman. Thoughtcast is a good draw. Should I go ahead and do it, you think? Well, I could but I could star and Thoughtcast. But yeah, Wellspring is more mana efficient, so we'll do that. I do kind of like starring and Thoughtcasting there though. But now the only reason that would punish us is if they destroy the Seat of the Synod, and that's not happening. So I think we're actually fine. That was a pretty good draw. Because now we can just play it and Thoughtcast. Drawing a drum. How much does this dude cost? 2. So we can go star, drum, and then try and play the Mirror Enforcer for free. And then next turn we can play these 2 Carapace Forgers. Because I'm sure this will eat a count. Okay, it didn't. This will eat some sort of removal, but that's okay because it was like a free spell, you know? So we didn't spend any mana. Yeah, I wonder if they were going to like Vapor Snag it. That doesn't seem very strong, though. That's fine. Another Galvanic Blast. So we will have to, if we crack this for a green and then it doesn't resolve, we're actually, I think, in a little bit of trouble. Because we actually need it to resolve so we can play the other one. And it did. If the first one resolves, the second one has to resolve, right? Like there's no way you just let one resolve, give me access to the green mana and then not do anything else. Opponent AK's end of turn. That might be a reason to bring in the relics. But I think we're actually in pretty good shape here. Especially if they don't like try and kill our stuff on their turn. Like I think we have to attack into this. I'm gonna go ahead and thought cast pre-combat though. Okay. Now let's attack for 8. And then we'll play our 2 new threats. Just our army of 4/4s. And then we can even double Galvanic Blast to them at the end of our turn. Okay, that doesn't make any sense to me. Not countering the first one. Fine. I think in response, I probably should have Galvanic Blasted them there. I'm definitely going to do it now in response to this. Because I have nothing else to do with it. And I would rather do it when they're tapped out. And that way, if we draw a Fling, it's also live. Yeah, Harvest Pyre is pretty strong. I feel like we're in okay shape still, though.
He's got 4 cards in his hand.
You keep saying he.
Or she.
That's pretty good. They didn't buy it back, though. I wonder what that indicates. I was about to say, are they also just not going to cycle this Lonely Sandbar? What do you think the reason for not buying back the Shattering Pulse is?
And has to be all gas, dude.
Well,
Maybe he has another
that's certainly possible. No, it's another Harvest Pyre. I'm going to Galvanic Blast in response again. Because now if I draw another Galvanic Blast, I just win. Yeah, it is the blue-red pieces of the puzzle deck. Getting, I wonder what they'll take. They took the Essence Scatter.
other pieces.
Yeah. I mean, I have to run it out, even though it gets countered. Because I have to get it out of their hand. I feel like this game is still pretty winnable. Like, yeah, we're not in like great shape, but we still have 2 Galvanic Blasts left in our deck. It's just gonna be a matter of sequencing it in a way that lets us win. But I'm actually like not really that scared still.
I think it's slipping away.
They'll get the Flurry of Horns here. I mean, it's slipping away, but I'm just like, look, I'm just not that worried. You know, like they haven't drawn another counter spell, presumably. I drew my last Galvanic Blast. Do you think I should go for it here?
Oh, it's so hard.
Do you think I?
Probably say like wait for it. Wait, he's not putting pressure on you. You can try and find your pyroblast to protect it.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you know.
Or the other one. Well, now, all right. Well, that's the last life gain land, so we're actually in fine shape. There's the flurry. There's flare husk. A deep analysis. I'll just take 2 here. I think there was an argument for just blasting them, even though they were representing counterspell. Because now they've drawn a bunch of extra cards. Should have never listened to you, Aaron. That's pretty good. All right, well, now that you've used 2 counter spells.
Well, you don't have. Oh, you do have a red. I think you have to just try and go for it now. If he's got it, he's got it. But at least you. Yeah.
Well, now we still have 1 more in the deck, so now we just hope. Now I am going to bring in the relic. I still don't think we've lost this game yet, though. Like we have one more draw step. Like even that's fine because I have the prism. We have more than one more draw step. I don't know what I'm saying. Huh. Well, I just need to draw a creature now, so draw and resolve a creature. So yeah, we'll go to 2 unless they have bolt. We don't die on the spot. Okay, that's a problem. So now I need to draw like Mirror Enforcer. Right. Sure. All right, we'll go ahead and concede, and we'll go into our next game. Should we be taking out the flings? Probably. I think I do like relic. Well, we can cut a fling. I think perilous research is still okay. I think Ichor Wellspring is still okay. Do we want the hydroblast or the dispel? The dispel seems all right. The hydroblast actually seems pretty good because then we can counter the flurry of horns. So I think I actually like that a little bit over the pyroblast.
I don't know. I think you're on the aggro plan. I think countering for the horns is a little too defensive, and I think you're still the plan is to get underneath him and support your creatures.
Sure. We'll go ahead and just run it back then.
Yeah, I think so.
We'll be on the play. This hand's pretty good. We have access to 2 Darksteel Citadels. We'll go turn 1. We have the Thoughtcast and the Gear Seeker, so I actually do like this hand a lot. Gear Seeker is probably going to be a little bit difficult unless they have Pyroblast for them to kill. So we'll go turn 1, Citadel, and then we have the Thoughtcast to regas. Yeah, next turn we're going to go Seed of the Synod, Frogmite, Thoughtcast. And then Drum and Enforcer is really good because now we'll be able to cast our ATOG and our Gear Seeker. Probably the Gear Seeker next turn, depending on what they do. If they don't tap out or anything, then I'll just play the Enforcer, which is probably still worth it. Another Thought Cast. Who Nelly? How much does this cost? 2. So we'll go Drum, Enforcer, and then we'll just Thought Cast, I think. Well, this hand turned out to be pretty good. They AK into the turn. Do I like just Galvanic Blasting here? I think so. I don't really have another target for it. And that way the pressure is on and maybe they'll counter it. No, of course not. I think next turn we'll try and we'll just attack for 3, I guess. Well, another Flayer Husk is pretty good. And now we can Perilous Research or something at the end of the turn. So I think we just attack for 3 and we leave up Perilous Research. Because I don't want to get either of our threats straight up countered. And then what do we want to research though? Okay, now I want to research. I want to research that. Yeah, now we have another Frogmite. So we have another land, another Frogmite, and the Gearseeker Serpent. And the ATOG. And this is going to be the turn, it looks like, to cast one of those 2 cards. Yeah, I think so. Well, now I can do both. And attack for 2. Yeah, tapping out for the deep analysis was I mean, you do what you have to do, but now they have to have answers for all this, for the Gear Seeker and the ATOG. Yeah, and even if they did, I have 4 power. All right, I'll see everybody in match 5.